Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here basically we are discussing the topic that is city creation. One of the person told that basically what is actually cyber group basically doing. Cyber group means that are basically connected with the police department, and police department are basically connected with the government's group basically. So one of the person told that basically, यार ये actually this is just taking as an example basically, that's not my example. ये तो है ना गवर्नमेंट की तो दादागिरी इतनी है, सब अपने ऊपर ही डालते. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू हैव डन कंप्लेन टू सम पर्सन बेसिकली दैट यू आर नॉट गेटिंग जॉब बेसिकली, so they do that type of activity that basically you will they will say that basically we have informed you basically, sorry, you have basically not done this activity, so due to that activity basically you are not able to get the job basically. That type of system basically government creates basically. And like this basically they say that basically you have done this crime, that crime basically. For example, you damaged this, that basically, and you basically done this activities in cyber, in internet, you have done that activity, you have done this, that basically. They basically blacklist your resume also basically. Then they blacklist your mobile number also basically with the help of mobile provider. Why? Because mobile provider basically have to work with the government also basically. They have to listen the government, otherwise basically they are going to ban their mobile service provider only basically. So one of the person told that तो government की तो बहुत दादागिरी है basically, too much of basically. Then one of the person told he basically given one idea basically, can we do India equal to Gaza? Then he told that the India equal to Gaza means, so what is the condition of Gaza basically? Then he told that Gaza basically entire building, each and every people basically they left the country only basically. Few side basically people are staying. So that person basically told that ये ऐसे ही दादागिरी गवर्नमेंट की कम होगी. गवर्नमेंट की दादागिरी ऐसे ही कम होगी. Governments are doing this, that basically, they are doing each and every activities basically. They are placing the Chinese soldier basically near to border, this, that basically, each and every activities basically they are doing. They are telling that basically if I will lose the election basically, then the China is going to attack, Pakistan is going to attack, like this basically, each and everything basically they are doing basically. Then he told that yes basically you are correct basically. So this all basically are what basically? This all are basically the dadagiri of government basically. So one person told that basically up to what level Congress government can go, up to what level BJP government can go. Means Congress की दादागिरी, BJP की दादागिरी, आम आदमी पार्टी की दादागिरी, बसपा की दादागिरी. दादागिरी means they can do anything basically with the public basically, and nobody is going to ask a question basically that why you are basically doing that basically. For example, somebody blacklisted my resume, just taking as an example basically, somebody blacklisted my resume and they blocked my mobile number also, and they periodically calls and the mobile, and basically they are checking basically the anybody is calling or not basically, and he is getting the job or not also basically. So this is called what actually? This is actually government's ki dadagiri. Why? Because cyber cell group basically are who basically? They are basically government only basically. They are doing the task of the government. But they are not sitting in India basically. They are sitting in USA basically, UK basically. They are from there basically they are doing the task basically. Because they know basically if they will be going to come here basically, then what are the things going to happen basically. So they basically place there, and then basically the government basically say that basically give this type of task to the other countries basically. So keep giving the punishment basically. Keep giving the punishment basically. One of the person told that one day basically in India is going to become like a Gaza basically. That is, each and every people basically have to leave from India basically. Because war will start, bomb blast will happen, missile will dump, this, that, each and everything basically will happen in India basically. Like this basically the government ही खत्म हो जाएगा. Parliament, everything basically gets finished basically. Supreme Court, High Courts, everything basically. So like this basically the dadagiri gets end basically. This was basically given, one of the idea basically given by one of the person basically. So one of the person told that basically, "Arey yaar, if you are thinking up to this level, basically the government also basically might have thought up to that level." Na? Then he told that yes, basically how they have done the plan basically. For example, cyber city, internet, each and everything basically they have divided to whom basically? They have divided to USA basically. So USA is basically having their income basically from software only basically. This is the only source basically, that is a software source basically, from the entire USA basically is running basically. So if entire USA is running in the base of this software source basically, so they have to do the task at any cost basically. So like this basically the government has created lots of country basically. France, you have to do this task basically, because this task basically you can't able to do from India basically. Dubai, you have to do this task. Dubai, which kind of task basically do? I will tell one example. I have given one example of tall person basically. Yes. That tall person basically blood cells was generated. This that thing basically story we have discussed. That person basically who basically got HIV/AIDS and husband, he basically sent to the Dubai, and there basically he was killed basically. So this type of task basically you can give to Dubai basically. So that person basically who has basically done the damage and record it also basically. So that basically the group basically who are doing this type of task basically, you can give that recording to that particular task. See basically he has basically done this type of thing basically. So we have basically created this lesson basically. He is basically thrown into the sea water basically. This is also the dadagiri of government basically. So like this basically government says that basically we are doing nothing basically, but our task basically is happening. So that basically like this the Indian government are keeping themselves very safe basically. Few tasks basically they give to China. Whenever basically the party is going to change, basically the China people basically that are the soldier group basically, they comes into the border and they basically say that basically we are going to fight, we are going to start the war basically. Why? Because the party is going to change basically. So this is also dadagiri. Here basically nothing happens basically. The unnecessary, the public basically will get into the trouble basically. That only thing is going to happen basically. And like this basically, they slowly basically the Gaza basically becomes to India basically. Sorry, India will become to Gaza basically. But that will not happen. Why? Because the government has doing up to that level plan basically. If Indian government basically can handle the American basically, America government, then you can just imagine basically up to what level things basically are controlled by the Indian government basically. If they are controlling the America through the software producing data basically, then they might be having something basically. Otherwise basically they are not doing up to that level dadagiri basically. And they are controlling the USA basically. USA basically is full of software basically. And software basically they are giving each and every stuff of the India to USA basically. Like this basically they are handling Indian public basically. So one of the person told that yes basically they are doing basically like this basically they are handling the each and every public basically. So like this basically one of the person told that like this they are handling, because you can't track basically why you are not getting job, why you are not getting the money basically. You can't track. Why? Because government has given each and every task to the America basically, and you can reach to America basically. No basically there is no possibility. That basically how you can basically catch that person basically from to the America basically. That is not possible basically. So like this basically governments say that basically we are doing dadagiri. If anybody can stop basically, then stop basically. Like this basically each and every stuff basically they are doing, and they are not doing anything basically. That also basically they are doing. They are telling that basically we are not handling the software company, the America is handling. So next video basically we are going to see a little bit more achievement of the Hindustan government.